guys had a nice lunch. Now, if we can have your attention, I would like to introduce from a combination team from both SUNY Polytechnic and Clarkson. We have from SUNY Poly, Stacey May Smith, and Clarkson, Colton Weaver, with their presentation, Lilo.
So, hello. My name is Stacey.
And I'm Colton.
We are Lilo, a hydration company. I study business here at SUNY Polytechnic Institute. I'm graduating this spring, and I'm looking forward to working on Lilo full-time over the summer.
And I'm a junior at Clarkson, studying innovation and entrepreneurship with 2 minors, project management and human resource management. We have a third partner, Katie, who's also a student at Clarkson, who unfortunately couldn't make it today. She's an MBA student concentrating in global supply chain. As part of our team structure, we also have many advisors and mentors, one of which is Brett Truitt, who's a local entrepreneur here in Utica. We have 2 through the New York Furnace, as well as Wasabi Ventures, Chris and TK, as well as 2 others through the Commercialization Academy, Mike McCoy and Alex Buchan.
Okay, so I'm going to try to help you guys get where we were at the Commercialization Academy, where we were given the scenario for why we're here. Are there any cyclists in the room? Anybody do cycling? Okay, awesome. So, for cyclists, let's imagine, I want you guys to imagine you're a cyclist, and you're going for a 60-mile bike ride, all right? 60 miles, you're 50 miles in, okay? 50 miles in on your bike, okay? You're thirsty, quenching your thirst, running low on water. Your competitor, for every single weekend, when you go to these races, is right behind you, getting so close to you, and he always wins by like a minute. But you got the lead right now. So you're crouched down over on your bike, you're thirsty. You reach for your bottle, you bring it up, you start being unstable and you fall. Okay. For realistic purposes, we hope that you don't fall. But the point is this situation where the hydration process is skewed, the more miles you do, less water you have, is an issue that Paul Rattazzi brought up for us.
So in the bottom corner, this is our inventor through the Air Force Research Lab, Paul. So in the background, this user has his arm out to the side, head tilted back, trying to get that last drop of water. And so this action actually makes him less aerodynamic, which results in a slower pace. So as an active cyclist and inventor, mid-race he thought of, why isn't there a simple solution? So this is where our patent comes into play. So Paul, at the Air Force Research Lab, actually had this huge opportunity given to him. So the IP attorney there was unfamiliar with how to write utility patents, which is the patent that we have. So he offered up his idea for this bottle, which was eventually filed in 2006 as a patent, and then patented in 2012, which then was accepted to the Commercialization Academy, so that's how we have acquired it. But it essentially has 4 main design requirements, one of which being a screw-on cap at the top. It doesn't unscrew, just was 3D printed a few days ago, but our next one, which is actually being printed now, it has a nozzle at the bottom to eject the liquid out of it. It has a face indentation, so your nose or cheekbone doesn't interfere with the hydration process, as well as enhanced gripping, so you don't drop it while in use.
Okay, so at the Commercialization Academy, our mission was to find a viable market for technology for private commercialization. We did this with the bottle. The bottle speaks value because the reusable water bottle industry is worth $1.5 billion. Now the intended use for this bottle is the cycling industry. The industry that we're going after is the cycling industry. So we did go back and forth a little bit on where we wanted to go. Last December we were focused on the everyday user, but as we did more with the design and figuring out the cost for how much it would be able to produce the bottle, the cyclist bottle is actually very affordable to actually produce faster, and there's an interest here. Central New York has a very big interest in cycling. So we have like the Red for Missing Children, Mohawk Valley Cycling Club, they do the time trials right in Griffiths. Also, on top of that, the Air Force Research Laboratory is interested in pre-sale ordering for promotional swag and possibly military application. And
Being a student at Clarkson, I have a friend who's in the occupational therapy program, so our bottle was actually just accepted to the head research at Clarkson, so it's through Oklahoma State University, and this is as of yesterday, so it's kind of big news for us. So it will be through Oklahoma State University. They have a huge cycling community out there. and Harvard University and Clarkson. So they'll be focusing on aerodynamics, essentially proving that our bottle works in the cycling industry, as well as focusing on the medical industry for patients with neck and back injury and arthritis.
Okay, so he's going to elaborate on a little bit more of our design process that we've gone through.
So this process started back in October. So we decided to launch a 99 Designs campaign where we got 70 different designs from 20 different designers all over the world. So we started out with a conceptual design and let them put their artistic spin kind of on our idea. So this led to some of the finalized designs, which we then began our 3D printing.
Okay, so for prototyping, we have the first couple of designs there. They were designed by Colin. He took it upon himself to learn inventor. After printing one of the bottles, we did decide to hire an industrial designer. No offense, Colin. These other designs were designed using physical functions that we found were necessary by doing niche market sample surveys and also talking to a lot of professional cyclists within our own network.
So as you can see with the bottle that was passed around, it has 4 main design features. So the screw-on cap at the top, the face indentation, the enhanced gripping, as well as the nozzle at the bottom to eject the liquid. So we've basically been talking about what we've done for the last 7 months. So we were part of the Commercialization Academy where we've acquired $4,000, and that has helped us with our design process, so hiring our industrial engineer as well as prototyping. Right now we're part of the New York State Furnace, which that is a 9-month program. We're currently in month 3. So in this program, we've been granted $25,000 to work towards milestones. During this phase, we will primarily be focusing on our bottle design, since this is one of many prototypes that will come. So this, by the end of 6 months, we have a demo day, so that's where we want to have our solidified design to make it the most usable product for our consumers.
And so, why are we right here right now?
So this New York State Business Plan, with the money we acquire from this, will be used to solidify our raw materials, or to acquire our raw materials and solidify manufacturers. So once we just finalize our design, we'll begin producing those mass quantity.
And then we can secure our pre-sales that we talked to. So, why us? Again, our vision. We are on a mission to provide a bottle that allows you to hydrate with efficiency without having to tilt your head for cyclists. That's the initial intention. But our long-term vision, we are passionate about. So there's more to it than just a physical bottle. We want to be known for positive mental messaging that has to do with things such as sustainability efforts, reusing water bottles. Reusing water bottles can save so much use of plastic. We want our bottle to be BPA free. We want to reuse as much plastic as we can. And there's a lot of local events here. We want Lilo to have the reputation from being rooted from Central New York. There's so much here to offer, and we want this to have the reputation from here. We want to shed light on this area. And I mean, there's a bottle campaign that you're a part of.
Yeah. So I'm working over the summer at part-time at a nonprofit, the Unbottled campaign, where they'll be implementing hopefully our water bottle. It cuts down on disposable water bottles in our college campuses.
Yeah, positive impact on the community, relieving the neck tilt. So you have that relief after 50 miles. You're not worrying about that stress because you got other things that are hurting right now. And we want to also promote the importance of a healthy lifestyle, starting with the importance of hydrating correctly and efficiently without having to worry about filling your body up with 70% of water. That's where you're supposed to be. So. Yeah,
so we want to, I guess, leave you with one last thought. So Lilo wants to make its consumers the best people they can be, but we also don't want you to be this guy. So you can follow us at Lilo Hydration. Feel free to ask any questions, and thank you for your time and consideration.
Yeah, thank you. Questions?
That's a really nice job, and I can see that you have like a nice sense of branding started, but tell us the story behind the name.
Okay, so the name, we were, I don't know, just on Google Translate, actually. It's bored one day when we were supposed to probably be doing actual work and weren't. But we decided to look up water-related words. So it's like gravity, since it's a gravity-fed water bottle, water, And then Whirlpool was the one we decided. We went through actually every language offered on Google Translate, which then came up. So Lilo is Filipino for Whirlpool, so it's just grabby essentially, and it's also a generous one in Hawaiian. So we do, like Stacey was just mentioning, we want to give back to the community as well as those water cleaning networks. So that's kind of why we chose that name.
I'm gonna maybe work that in, because like the story behind the whole thing is such a unique, interesting sounding name.
Yeah,
That's the first name. Nice job.
So, you got a bicycle up there, and you got a lot of bicycles. I believe the impression that the only market you're looking at are bicycles.
Oh,
But I've heard a little bit more about other markets that you had interest in as well. Can you expand on that?
yeah, so this water bottle design, we've gone through a lot of different designs. This one is specific to the cycling industry because it's a simple design. It's a little less elaborate. So using the network in this area for cycling events, that's where we want to focus. But there's the Boilermaker too that we actually got in contact with. That's not necessarily cycling, but they could be interested in this as well as triathlons. So our focus is primarily cycling, but other adopters are more than welcome to use this bottle. We have gotten a good response from other users too. But focusing on different cycling communities to get the word out there. And then those other people, like, because I'm, for example, I'm interested in a lot of different things that are hybrid to different activities. It'll be able to flow through those different.
Yeah, so this will be our initial market essentially. So we were initially focusing on the medical industry because it's a bigger industry, but the barriers to entry were more difficult. So looking back on the cycling, we have the most connections with the cycling industry and most consumers interested in our product. So we're starting in the cycling and then branching out later on.
I worked in bicycle shops growing up, and the water bottles we get, by the box loads. And I don't know what the price, can't remember what the price points were, but how does yours compare to those? Because they've come way down. They're relatively cheap to the point where they're almost throwaway items. Not really, but close to that.
So we got our pricing quotes for injection molding, the whole bottle, which is not really where we're going into now. It's more effective to do blow molding, just due to the type of mold. So our price pinpoint now is roughly $2.50 to produce, but those will depend on the manufacturer, since that is what we're going to be looking for towards the future.
So the price could average around like $12 for this bottle.
So the last bottle I purchased was kind of $12, and it was a special kind of bottle that was insulated. And because if you're out cycling, you're out there for a couple of hours, things get cold or hot, and you're good. Have you thought of doing something like that?
Actually, yeah, we have considered that, and from talking to the professional cyclists, they actually said that whether it's insulated or not, it doesn't really matter to them because they're not going on such a long bike ride that they just want something. Like they'll buy, the one guy that you knew, he said he'd buy like a dozen bottles in the beginning of the year, throw out the other ones and bring these ones in. He wants them to be fairly inexpensive. But so for the first step of manufacturing, we would just keep it simple design to get it out there. As we start to generate revenue, then we can start to enhance the bottle and offer different iterations of it.
Assuming you can get the funding in place, how close are you, or what is the next step before you can actually bring to production?
Solidifying this design.
Yeah.
That's all. If we can solidify this design, we can buy tooling. So we already know a lot of things we want to do to modify this. It's a little bit narrow, too narrow in diameter. The hand grips, we've already got comments they want it on the side here, not where this is. So we already know a couple things that we want to change about it. Once we solidify this simple design, we can purchase the tooling and go right into manufacturing.
Yeah, so this summer, hopefully by, I want to say like mid-July, we're going to have a solidified design so we can have a working prototype, working model
So we want to
for
get
our
feedback.
demo days. Yeah.
So you're going to produce this in-house, you're not going to outsource the production?
We're trying not.
yeah.
We're doing.
All right. So yeah, right now we're 3D printing at Mohawk Valley Community College. So we outsource that just 'cause it's more efficient than either of our universities. And then for production, for higher quality, we'd be outsourcing that as well. But for our low fidelity prototypes, that would just be the 3D printed, which is the one that's going to be printed now.
We've visited a couple injection molders locally, but when we found out that we really had to do blow molding, that's what we're looking for. We're hoping we can stay local, whether it's in New York in general, or if we have to use, Wasabi Ventures had a couple connections that we're looking at, but we wanted to stay here. If we can do that, that's what we want.
Can you show us how to mold?
Judges, that's 5 minutes.
Yeah, actually, well, for me personally, I would use it like this. But I think we do a little different, and I'll show you exactly how. And we have thought about, this is a universal way to do it, but we have thought about making our own cage so that it could be pulled out like this. But generally, kind of like a cell phone. So you're here, and you're going like this.